Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a great day and also staying off the booze as well. Today I'm just going to talk about the five struggles in the beginning when you quit alcohol. And of course, there's many more. Everyone has them different, but these are the ones I think that, kind of hit me the most. And like I say, it can differ for everyone. I had quite a good think about it yesterday, so I just want to go through these because it's not easy in the beginning. You know, a lot of kind of issues arise, different things happen. But yeah, let's discuss five of them. And the first one is definitely the temptation from friends. So for me personally, I had quite a few different sets of friends. People I used to work with. Meeting people tonight, for example, that worked with my last job. You get your, school friends, people that you've been friends with your whole life, for example, and also had kind of drinking friends, which I had known for 10, 15 years. And not only drinking friends locally, but people who I would visit, who've moved abroad, moved to different cities now. And that's just the thing you do, you go and visit them and, down in London. And as soon as you're there, it's, right on it again, right on the booze. So that temptation is really difficult. I think, like say for me, you the first weekend's very hard. You know, so breaking the news, if you can call it that, to them that you won't be you won't be boozing this weekend. You need to put up with the why you're not drinking, what's wrong with you, is there anything up, and then even afterwards, people will maybe text you, is there anything going on, or missed you, and it is very much a cycle. People will be annoyed maybe in the beginning, and then after a while they'll try and kind of maybe coerce you in again, and don't worry, if you've got money, I'll buy you a few beers. And I think it's just they kind of miss their drinking friend, but that temptation is there. And for me, what you need to do is you just need to keep saying no. That can a good kind of trick, because if you're going somewhere, maybe take your car for example, and drink driving's just not really tolerated anymore. Different maybe 10, 20 years ago when folk used to have a few beers, and in Scotland there's very low alcohol driving limits, which I think is a good thing. But you just have to be clever with that. Take your car there, just nominate yourself as the driver if you're going to a concert or if you're going for a meal, and just stick with it. Don't have it in the back of your mind, I can get an Uber back or a taxi. I'm definitely driving home. And you just need to ultimately keep saying no. Another excuse as well could be that your doctor's told you something that maybe you're waiting for results, or there's something not right, and you just want to maybe take the edge, and that kind of, if you're ready to buckle, you could maybe just use that as an excuse. But like I say, just be insistent that it's just not working for you. And if it's somebody close to you, like your partner, for example, just maybe open up to them and say that you're having all this anxiety, you're having these issues, financial, whatever, and you just really need to get out of it. And if they're really good friends and true friends, they'll totally understand. That's what I found in my experience anyway. And the second part is breaking the habit. There are people out there, a small percentage, I think, that are really dependent on alcohol. People that'll wake up in the morning and down a bottle of vodka, for example. I was never that. I was just as I mentioned in previous videos, just a quintessential British binge drinker. Friday, Saturday, Sunday sessions, football during the week, darts during the week, friends visiting. Yeah, normally an excuse, to be honest. But I think you need to break that cycle. And I think for most of us, it is just that poor habit. Just like when I used to smoke when I was younger. Just when you go through junk food binges, once you kind of break that habit, that's where you get successful. And I think only after a month is when your kind of brain, certainly myself, the brain kind of rewires, and doing what you do just becomes business as usual. I think that, just like I say, that you just have to knuckle through the first month with regards to the habit. I mean, I remember. when I used to finish work on the Friday, just for a split second, that pub was quite close to where I lived, and I would just be drawn, like, because I was so used to on the Friday closing the laptop, gathering a few things, and I knew everyone was going for Friday pints. So it was just kind of lit up, and then you had to kind of take a minute to think, and then you were just thought, oh no, I don't drink anymore. Really strange, you know. Even on a Saturday, Sunday morning, I'd wake up, I knew everyone would be going out at 12 o'clock, lunchtime, and for a few beers, watch the football, and again, you wake up in the morning, your first thought is, I'm going there today. And it's only a split second thought, but breaking that habit is definitely something that you need to do. And I think it'll definitely be there, whether it's, I've got friends that drive on the way home from work and they're just used to driving past their local store and, and buying a bottle of wine. And it's just breaking that, again, that habit of, I'm at work now, I need to go back, or because I need to crack buy the wine because I'm making dinner, and every time I make dinner, I open a bottle as an excuse. So, like I say, just need to break that habit. And honestly, after a month, you'll completely forget about it. Your brain will have rewired. It's quite remarkable, to be honest. Um, the third struggle is definitely boredom. I think you'll find yourself very bored because think how much time you spent drinking, and thinking about drinking and recovering from drinking. So I think it's just a thing that you need to deal with, and ultimately you'll need to find things to pass the time. So many people always will say to you, go to the gym, but the gym's not for everybody. But I mean, there's thousands of things out there you could do. You could work on your dream business, or if you've always wanted to get into climbing or something, or into walking, and you might think to yourself, well, there's no way I can afford that. But remember how much money you were spending on alcohol every week. If you want to start going walking and track your walking, I mean, you can get cheap watches that track stuff off Amazon, or buy a second hand one off eBay, or if you want to take up golf, everyone's got spare golf clubs. You can just go to a public course, for example, and play. I don't think there's really any excuse, but of course, you're not going to wake up the next day and think you've quit drinking. Right, that's me. I'm going climbing, then I'm going golf, then I'm going gym. Maybe you will, but that'll be a gradual thing. You'll need to kind of the brain fog will start lifting, and you might start kind of, oh, maybe I should go to the gym. Maybe I should maybe start doing an hour walk at night. Maybe I should kind of do that course I've been dying to do for the last 10, 20 years. I've just not got around to doing it. But like I say, it will come. So if you are planning on quitting, I would get some things lined up for you, because like I say, you have an incredible amount of time just sitting around. Because like say, if you were drinking a bottle of wine every night, that fills your six till midnight maybe. So might be sitting there after work, you've had your dinner and you're twiddling your thumbs, and the devil makes work for idle hands, as I say. So just get a good program in place to kind of fight that boredom. The other thing that kind of I've never been the fourth thing for me was around kind of like your mood. Um, there's a kind of a lot to deal with, I think, when you decide to quit alcohol. Um, I think for me as well, I wanted to quit it forever, which I think can be quite overwhelming for a lot of people. I think if you've been drinking for a long time, even kind of like binge drinking, or you just the odd glass of wine, you just want to quit doing it. It's quite overwhelming to just say that's it forever. So maybe I've taken 30 days off in the beginning, and then saying, I'm aiming for 90 days, or I'm going to aim for a year, I'm going to aim for whatever, but I'll do the first 30 days. And I think that's a good thing to do. But, I think that once you kind of take the plunge, and then you've got the brain fog and, the initial kind of hangovers, you might have withdrawals as well, which thankfully I didn't have because I wasn't, drinking like every day, and things like that. Well, I didn't think I did have it, but maybe I did have it on a Monday, Tuesday, but the moods can go really up and down, and you just kind of need to keep telling yourself that that's just the booze. Your brain's rewiring. Maybe you've been having a bottle of wine every night, and your body's just used to it. And I think everyone knows it's an antidepressant as well. So I think it's a good thing to just keep reminding yourself that it's going to pass, which it will, and not to take it out on others. You might be in a bad mood, a depressed mood, and might be because of the booze, but also the fact that you're never going to booze again. You've still got all these thoughts in your head. I've got friends visiting. What am I going to do? And you start to realize maybe that, oh God, look how much I spent on credit cards in the last few years on this stupid booze. Oh, I can't believe I did this. But just know that it's over, and just know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel as well, that you will reach, and you'll get there as soon as possible. And kind of going on, that kind of is a nice kind of segue into the last point, which is, yeah, I think most people experience maybe a bit of guilt, and I don't know if guilt's really the right word, but there is that stage where you kind of realize maybe how much time you wasted. Um, I'm really happy that I quit drinking between 2017 and 2022, where I went back and I got loads of certifications from my work, and I was able to pay off a lot because I wasn't working. I was traveling a lot with work, so the expenses were covered, and got some decent bonuses as well because I was working really hard, because I'm not hungover. I'm on the ball from first thing in the morning till late at night, and but I think there is a bit of guilt that can take over from you. I know, just from watching videos online, people have had poor relationships in the past, and that maybe broke up with their partner, maybe lost a job, maybe lost their house, might have thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of pounds, euros, dollars in debt. But the that guilt can kind of maybe sink in, especially the why didn't I do this 20 years ago? But there is that saying, the best time was 20 years ago or 10 years ago to quit, and the second best time to quit is today. So don't get yourself too racked up about all that stuff. Just put a plan together about what you're going to do. And I think that's just a kind of conclusion for the video, where just write everything down, what the next 30 days, 60 days is going to look like, because you will get these struggles. And maybe write down some more struggles that you think you'll face, and like say how you going to fill your time. Maybe how you're going to address your friends, by maybe making up an excuse. Just, like I say, you don't need to say to your friends, "I'm off it forever." Just, I'm doing this 30-day challenge. I really need to do it. Or, I was at the doctor, and something's not really right. I've got a bit of pain in my side, so I'm just taking it easy for now, and just smooth them in. But you know, just like I say, just write down a plan for what you're going to do, and just try to focus on the future. What's happened's happened. um, Nothing's really going to change it. You'll repair a lot of the damage that you did as well. um, and but don't worry, the next your sober life compared to your drunken life will be a million times better. uh, Thanks for listening to another video. I'm releasing daily videos at the moment, so if you like it, please like and subscribe, and have a lovely day.